Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 42 of Scion of the Dark House, a Dungeons & Dragons Gothic Horror 5th edition podcast. Since it's Gothic Horror, there might be some things that come up to a line for people, such as talk about trauma and abuse, violence, blood, gore, body horror, child endangerment, things of that nature. If anything comes up to a line for you, please take a break. Your support means a lot to us, but so does your mental health. So when last we left off, you all had just finished packing away your displacer beast, Pelt, and decided to check out the carnival for various reasons, including arson and a hankering for kettle corn. You found your way into the carnival, got some kettle corn from a Nalfeshni named Pudgy, who runs the concession stand, and found out that it was indeed a way that devils and demons of various kinds were able to very easily nab souls through various contracts, transform them into devils or demons that would work for them for a period of time before being sent back to the Nine Hells or staying as performers. You all watched various acts and then got accosted by a night hag and what appears to be a bone devil who revealed to you that Belladonna is not exactly as what she seems. You took this information back, finding out that you had been gone for not several hours, but in fact, a day and a half. You sat down to a lovely pancake dinner after Percy went and talked to his sister about the possibility of the group planning on killing her. The dinner was tense and awkward, and you finished as people went back to their nightly routines before eventually settling in for the night. And that is where you all are. If anybody has anything to do before they go to bed, now would be the time to do it. Otherwise, you can take a long rest. All right. So you all bed down for the night. And as you sleep, there is a nightly visitation. Arthur. You... Dun, dun, dun. You are woken by, strangely, soft footsteps across the floor. As you wake up and look around the room, you notice there is a giant vanity sitting in the middle of the living room with a chair, an ornate chair, faced away from you, on which sits a mysterious woman. Midnight black hair dotted with stars, as well as a long dress that spills down to the floor, holding a black mirror, but you don't see a reflection. Well, I think it's time we finally met. I'm sure you're at least a little bit aware of me, aren't you?
Yeah, I could hazard a guess.
I'm sure you can. Well, I have good news and bad news. I thought I should tell you myself, as much as I would like to pass it on to Lark and just have him tell you. Regrettably, some things you must do yourself.
How formal of you.
Well, I don't usually do things like this. So first, the good news. And she puts down the mirror, reaches out, and brushes aside a piece of cloth that drops off the edge of the table, and sitting on a silver platter are 3 recognizable heads. Cackle Batbag, Nanny Middenheap, and I forget the other one's name all the time. I want to say it's Morgana.
No, No, I have the other hags' names on here. My bad.
Yeah, I figured. Quickly looking it up because I can never remember their names. Morgana Snaggletooth. Their decapitated heads are sitting on the silver platter. So, that is the good news. They've meddled for a bit too long in my affairs and caused a bit too much trouble. Bad news. That deal you made.
You're taking over the contract.
Sadly, yes, I must.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that since the deal has been struck, it cannot be unaltered. You must go into the Feywild at some point and fetch the blue rose from Gloria's castle gardens and bring it instead of back to the material plane to these unfortunate creatures. Instead, you will be bringing it to me.
Well, I can't say that I don't find your presence much more charming than theirs, so that's not entirely too much of a burden.
But
No, but a deal is a deal.
Good choice. Well, I'm sure now that Lark has his soul fully intact, you guys can manage to find a place to cross over into the Feywild. I'm sure Lark has also told you about the Waltz of Shadows.
Yes, quite.
Yes, that is coming up soon, and I would preferably like that rose before the Waltz of Shadows. Sadly, this does put a little bit more of a time constraint on this particular venture, but hopefully, if you manage to procure it before then, I can keep you a bit safer while you are at the Waltz of Shadows.
As opposed to what exactly?
Well, this is a party where Asmodeus himself appears, Lolth, the Spider Queen, various other fae and devils and fallen angels, the king of vampires, the king of werewolves, all of whom appear.
Okay, good to know. So we have until the waltz, and that is how long exactly?
Seems a little under 2 full moons left.
Lovely. So I'll just add that to my ever-growing list of debacles that need solving.
Well, it has been lovely to meet you, Arthur Graybill. And hopefully, once the rest of the group manages to make their way to the Feywild, I can meet you all more directly.
The pleasure is mine, milady.
Well, you probably should get some sleep. And she just, the whole vanity, chair, herself disappears in a cloud of night and stars that twinkle out of existence, and sleep overtakes you once again. And then the morning comes. You all have had a long rest. What would you all like to do?
Well, I'll be at the table drinking some whiskey. What's going to happen? I'm just kind of waiting for the rest of the folks to navigate themselves awake.
Make our way down.
Lark's just eating the skin of an apple.
just
I'm just
the
sitting there
skin.
kind of wondering why I feel like I missed a thing it's itchy. The prediction for my divination because of that Lulu person.
Okay, you're feeling down on yourself because you didn't get that before
Yeah.
she did.
Thanks for the translation.
Got it. Okay.
I was having a hard time describing.
I got you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Okay.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How do we all sleep?
Fitfully, to be sure, says Arthur, taking another large swig from his bottle of whiskey and casually petting Jasmine on the nose.
All right. Well, as far as I know, all of our more pressing matters have been dealt with. So, should we return to the house today?
So, here's the thing. So you guys remember that whole thing with Nanny Middenheap and having to go to the Feywild to get that blue rose, or they'll presumably do unspeakable things?
Yes.
Yeah, so the contract has now been taken over by Lark's mistress, who one can only assume murdered those hags. And I now have 2 moons to retrieve the blue rose before actually attending, she implied, the Waltz of Shadows.
Didn't you say 2 full moons?
Yeah.
So that's like 2 months.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So you said 2 moons, and I was like, that's like 2 days.
Two moons.
Okay, smartass.
Listen, I'm already half drunk. Okay,
So they finally got rid of that meddlesome coven.
Yeah, seems all 3 of them have bit the dust, so to speak.
Oh, praise the queen for that.
Yeah, literally.
I guess that does speed up our timetable on that.
A little bit, yeah. She doesn't exactly strike me as someone on whose bad side one would like to be.
Did she appear before you, darling?
Yeah, in all of her darksome glory.
She's quite a force to behold, even if she's only materializing part of her power on this plane of existence.
To be sure.
Oh.
Right. Well, Lark, you're our Fey realm expert. Now that you're intact, how would you propose we take a rose from this Archfey?
Well, we'd need to be in the Feywild, obviously, and trust me, Arthur you don't want to fail, my lady.
Nope.
Not at all. If you thought the hags could do bad things to you, oh, it gets much worse.
I gathered as much.
I suppose we'd go back to the Feywild and I could contact who I know who are less affiliated with the Unseelie Court and see if we could find a lead on how to get into Gloriana's palace.
Yes, but how do we get there in the first place? I mean, we were lucky enough to just basically stumble across a way to get into the Shadowfell.
Well, would I know if there's any places nearby that could function?
The only one that you can think of is the Meanlock Warren. Mushroom circles tend to be gateways to the Fey realm, but they're oftentimes finicky, unstable, and not entirely trustworthy. You don't really know where you're going to end up. Unlike a nice, stable portal or somebody casting planar shift or another equivalent spell.
Okay. So Lark will be like, well, I mean, there's the Warren of Meanlocks. It's the closest that the Queen's had to manifesting her full power on this plane that I've run across. She changed the entire ecology of the place. If we went there, we'd have a good shot of probably getting back.
Okay, and so we just walk up in there? Or what?
Mm.
And at this point, I've probably finished the last of that first bottle of whiskey, so.
Lark's just finishing up eating his apple skin, and he's just going to be like, well, I mean, if a portal's still there, it should function. It's the best lead that I have off the top of my head, because nothing in their library seems to point that Percy's ancestors really cared to traverse to more sensible planes like the Feywild. No, they were too busy dealing with aberrations beyond the stars.
Don't remind me. I can still smell them. Okay, so I gather that your delightful mistress is someone whom I would rather impress than be late.
They would only serve you quite well if you could manage to actually pull off impressing her.
So early is better is what I'm getting at here.
I suppose so.
Kind of afraid for my life here, if I'm being perfectly frank. Never exactly had a contract with an Archfey before. Never planned on it, but shit happens, I guess.
It's rather resplendent, isn't it?
That's not really the word I'd use, Arthur says, just kind of absent-mindedly jiggling the empty whiskey bottle.
Right. Well, we can head there now. I mean, unless there's something else we need to prepare for. How would you recommend? I mean, we already, with the Shadowfell, we had to eat chocolate and be happy. So we have to, drink vinegar and think sad thoughts in the Fey realm?
Oh, darling. Should I roll something for a check Spencer, or no?
No, you live there.
It's like
It's more, the Feywild is more about, it's not so much creeping fear and managing that. It's more of just keeping your wits about you and trying to be clever because everything is trying to outsmart you. It's not so much you will get absorbed or sucked in or anything like that. It's more of you will get tricked or punked or ambushed.
Fairy Realm loves prank YouTube channels.
Yeah, Lark's
above game. I'm gonna have to remember that Arthur has completely average intelligence. Like,
oh my goodness.
We're just you'll have to keep your wits about you. Everyone back home is going to try to. Well, not everyone, but most everyone's going to try to trick you or pull a fast one on you, get you to agree to something.
So don't eat anything and don't talk to anyone.
Oh, you should talk to people. It would be rude if you weren't, and you really don't want to break the rules of hospitality if you can avoid it.
Wonderful.
Oh,
okay.
this is going to go so well.
Darlings, don't. I've friends back home and some family. Now that I'm thinking about it, one of my family members might actually be the best bet that I have off the top of my head.
Okay, good to know. So, above game, I actually can't remember. Did we have anything like actually pressing to deal with in the house? Because I know we did. St. Peleus's phylactery is done.
Yeah. We've destroyed
the-
all the phylacteries we have so far. There's only one left.
There is
the
one
Egyptian
left.
guy is done.
Hmm.
There's
Right.
there's a phylactery left. There's Lockjaw to kind of think about.
As
And
far
there's-
as we know, there's only more exploring to do in the house, and also somehow getting to Lockjaw to deal with that.
In terms of time sensitivity, we don't know how long time in the Feywild's fucky.
Even more so than the Shadowfell.
Yeah,
Right.
because Samantha aged 40 plus, like almost 40 years since we saw her a few weeks ago.
Right. So we could be there for a few weeks and come back tomorrow or like next year. Like we just don't know.
Yeah. Are we saying this in character or out of character?
You know what? Let's do that one in character.
So I feel like Lark's just gonna be like, well, to be fair, it's by the moons or at least as far as she mentioned to me, it's by the moons of the material plane, and time in the Feywild's far more finicky, as evidenced by dear Samantha.
Right. Yeah. Thanks for that, by the way.
I mean, she won the biggest prize you can.
Right, the prize of being taken away from her friends and family.
But she's never going to die, darling.
Yeah. Okay. So breezing past that. Okay. So I feel like this merits a supply run of sorts. Like I don't know.
Well,
I have no idea what one would need for
we
this
did
sort
buy
of.
all that food, and we didn't really have to eat any of it for the Shadowfell. So on food are probably good still.
By food, you mean
We-
all these freaking chocolates?
Well, we also have my parents' picnic that they packed us. We never ate.
So we're good for what, a few hours?
Well, and I also have the create food and water spell prepared, so we're really as good as long as I can sleep sometimes.
That's handy. I really above game really should have taken Goodberry.
I also have
Yeah.
private sanctum that I nabbed.
Oh, nice.
I'm not going to float here and tell you that every piece of food in the Feywild is going to inexplicably trap you there, but some of it might.
I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Good. Yeah. Well, I mean, that does sound wise, to be honest. Okay. So,
And I suppose we might want to, though I don't know why. What bother is it of the Bear Lords that he would send one of his servants to intercept a fraction of my soul?
I don't know who that is. So
I have a feeling we'll likely find out.
yeah, I don't think we've seen the last of Samantha.
So, okay, well then, if it's not entirely too much trouble, I think I would like to maybe, if no one else has a problem with it, get rid of some of this mess that we got from those dearly departed hags. You know? Except that skipping stone.
We're keeping the skipping stone.
Yes. And maybe, like, I don't know, see if we can do something with the angel feathers that we have left. Have we talked about that at all above game?
Not
How many
really.
angel feathers are left?
I think just your guys's now.
Did we have a
because
count?
Percy used his. I think we just got one each.
Yeah.
Oh,
I feel
I'm
like
sorry,
Lark-
guys. I don't feel very well anymore. I'm like really fucking sick.
Uh-oh.
Wait, are you okay?
And really itchy. Alright, let's finish this.
Yeah. Welcome to my life. This is every day for me.
Power through.
Oof.
Ooh.
You have any like
Yeah.
Benadryl or anything?
No.
Oh, thank you for reminding me.
I rarely get allergies
Allegra.
or like hives from allergies. I have like Zyrtec.
That'll work.
Yeah, go take one of those just to see if it helps.
Yeah.
Bite it in half.
But I feel like Lark will probably, if you mention it, he's just going to be like, we should probably keep those as bartering.
Let's do that later. It's like all the way downstairs. I'll be fine.
Okay. If you think they'll come in handy.
I mean, they came in handy with the last hag we ran into. And
True.
to be honest, if we're going to run into hags anywhere, it's probably there.
That would be where. Okay, well then, I mean, let's see if we can get anything for this junk, basically. And to be honest with you, if we can, I don't care if we just drop it. Above game, I literally just, I'm out of inventory slots. Like, I don't I don't have anywhere else to put things. I've also still got I think I still have 2 of the books, the cursed books. I've got devotionals to St. Oscar and devotionals to St. Ginny.
Yep.
Which I feel like maybe we should just turn those into the Archbishop.
Sure.
They are cursed, but
I mean, give me a night and I can uncurse them. Oh.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see the reason to carry them around anymore.
Sure.
So
Shouldn't my handy have-ready sack be full by now? A bunch of stuff.
what all do you have in it? Because I think it can hold up to what, like 500 pounds total?
Oh, I thought it was gonna be like a person. Like a person size.
No, it has an extra dimensional space inside of it. It's like a holding, so it can hold up to like 500 pounds or something.
Oh, okay. Then I'm good. Sorry.
Yeah, so if you need to shove things in there, you can.
All right.
I'm probably gonna have to shop for a Zyrtec or like Bendra.
yeah, it's 80 pounds. 80 pounds in the middle, 20 pounds on each side.
So
And the bag always weighs 5 pounds, regardless of what's in it.
80.
Okay.
So it holds 120 pounds of material,
Mm-hmm.
provided that it can fit through the hole.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so wizard's top hat.
Isn't the potion place?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. Like, would the copper cauldron be a better bet?
Well, the copper cauldron sells magical items.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that would be. I think I keep flip flopping those in my head.
We can also talk about that displacer beast hide. Maybe have it turned into a magical cloak of displacement or something.
We'll drop it off before we go on our travels and pick it up when we come back.
When we come back 2 years from now.
Potentially a year later, yeah. Yep. Okay, yeah. So copper cauldron then.
Sure.
All right. So you head out into the morning light, back onto the high street. As you pass by the place where the fairy godmother's is, you notice the statue has been taken down.
Oh.
As well as the sign seems to have been taken down, but the window is still busted out, and there is still barricades around the building, as it is now completely dark.
Nice.
You continue walking back down the street to the familiar shop with the dragon holding the sign out over the door, and you open it into, once again, the familiar copper cauldron with its various magical items.
Lovely. Is what's his name? The golden dragonborn guy hanging out here. Is that the right one, or did I get the wrong one again?
It's the right one.
Okay.
And yes, he is here. He is ringing up a customer at the cash register at the moment. But he is present.
Okay, so I'll just like I guess wait patiently for a second. Still kind of like petting Jasmine for comfort, like not really thrilled about what we're about to do.
And he finally finishes ringing up, and the customer leaves. Ah, Arthur, I see you're back. Are you
Yes.
planning on purchasing anything, or?
Potentially. Although my party and myself have a few trinkets that we were just wondering if you might find useful. To be honest with you, I just no longer have need of them. So, as far as what I have on my list, not including the Stone of Skipping, do we want to keep the bird statue above game?
Is that the one that makes bird noises?
Yes.
Yeah.
Keep the bird statue.
Rerek says yes, keep the bird statue.
It's a great tool.
Okay, above game, I'll just go through the list. Somebody correct me if I'm missing anything. I have the bird statue, which still has 8 charges, the Stone of Skipping, the Wand of Fireworks, which still has 7 charges, the Mirror of the Other, the Mirror of Vanishing.
Wait, doesn't the mirror of the other disguise you? Isn't that like useful?
Not this one.
Oh.
It just makes your reflection look.
Oh, right. It makes your reflection. Okay.
Yeah.
I like the other mirror, but Percy's not vain enough for a little personal mirror.
I mean, do you have any interest in a clutch with some fake pearls on it?
Is that it? It's just, it has fake pearls?
Yep. It's a clutch with fake pearls. That's it.
Are they magic fake pearls, or is it just an imitation?
It's literally thrift store garbage.
Well, no, I think we can safely part with that.
Okay. I don't even know. I'm not even going to mention that one to, God, I can't remember his name. We have the Mirror of Drifting, and we've got a magic beam, which I still don't know what that does.
We should keep the beam. I want to know what it does.
Okay. I also kind of am wondering if maybe the Mirror of Drifting might be useful for like seeing around corners.
Yeah.
Because it's got that like attachy bit thing that like floats or whatever.
Yeah, I like it, but
Isn't it like a compact? Oh wait,
it's like a hand mirror. Yeah.
The compact mirror is the one. The
Mirror of Vanishing.
Which, and that does what again?
When you speak the command word, the person that spoke the command word, but also has to hold the mirror, their reflection vanishes, but they see everything else.
Oh.
I wish
Oh,
I
so
was
if you
playing
wanna-
like a
The
sexy
command
spy.
word again.
If you want to pretend to be a vampire.
I mean,
I think it's more
in
for
theory-
looking behind you unsuspiciously.
I was going to say,
but...
yeah, it would let you see behind you in theory. Do we think we'll have any use for that?
I like the
No.
mirrors, but I don't know. I wish I was playing like a vain, like cute little character who would want that. But I'm just... there's use. There's arguable use for all of them.
But we have yet to use them. Is the
That
point.
is yes.
I mean, to be fair, though, if we do go to the waltz, it could be helpful to
That's
see
true. That'll
things
be like
not
a
at face
social
value.
thing. Yeah.
Okay, so
I say keep the vanishing mirror. I like the vanishing mirror.
okay, getting rid of the Mirror of the Other. Lark, do you want that Wand of Fireworks?
No, darling.
Okay, I didn't think so. Nobody wants the clutch with fake pearls. I feel like I actually just threw that out in the street. Like, that's gone. I have no doubt that that's going to be worth like a handful of copper. So we're keeping Drifting, the Magic Bean, the Mirror of Vanishing, the Bird Statue, and the Skipping Stone.
So I think we're only getting rid of the wand.
The
And the
wand,
Mirror of the Other.
And
Turns
the
out
Mirror
this
of the
isn't
Other.
this isn't junk.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, then I guess I think these are still in Jasmine's pack, so I guess I'll kind of root around in there and set the Fireworks Wand and the Mirror of the Other up on the counter. Just if you have any use for these.
Oh, and he kind of picks it up, and you watch as he looks at the wand and his eyes shimmer. He sets it down, and he looks at the mirror and his eyes shimmer, and he sets that one down. These are very interesting objects. Probably more of my cheaper stock.
I'm sure.
Let's be a little bit more fair. These do have their uses. It's just not of use to you. How does 5 silver pieces for both of them sound?
Fine with me.
Wonderful. And he takes them and he puts them both under the counter and gives you 5 silver.
Boys, would you like to split these 5 silver pieces?
Silver.
Okay. All right. Well, then on to more interesting fare then. Rerek, if you would, please.
Sorry, what?
The pelt. This is where the pelt.
Right.
And the tentacles.
Here you go.
Right.
Oh my. How did you come across this?
We killed it.
In the usual way. Yeah. Like you do. Yep.
Well,
Harvested organically, I can assure you. Yeah. I'm not sure what might be done with this, but it seemed like an opportunity that merited not passing up.
yes, I can make plenty of cloaks of invisibility, cloaks of displacement, various different cloaks. I'm sure these, and he picks up a tentacle, would make a lovely whip of some kind. There is quite a bit that you can do with a displacer beast hide.
Well, tell you what, why don't you take some time with it, see what you might be able to come up with. We have a little trek that we that needs handling. I have no idea when I'll be back. I can't promise it will be soon. It might be in 5 minutes, and it also might be next year. So yeah, just see what you can figure out.
Well, I most certainly will. These are very valuable reagents that you've given me here to work with. Are we planning on taking the item for ourselves, or are we planning on simply giving them to me for a discount on other items, or trade for other items?
Well, there is a purchase I'm looking to make, not here, to be honest with you. See what you can produce from it, and we'll revisit the issue when we come back. If we feel we can make use of the items, then perhaps we'd keep some, let you keep the rest. We'll work something out, if that sounds all right.
All right. Most certainly. I will have these taken to the back, and if there's anything else that you would like to purchase,
I did not prepare for this question above game.
Could we haven't been here in a bit. Could we just make some perception checks to see if there's anything like that a cleric would find useful here or something?
Sure.
That's 17 for me.
A lot of this stuff, once again, looks like it's out of your price range, possibly several hundred to several thousand gold, various staffs and wands and books. However, there is still the lantern, a pair of goggles, a pair of boots with wings on them, and what looks like a Spartan helm with a red and white mohawk going down the back. That was there last time you visited. It seems he doesn't get a lot of new stock very often.
Could I just ask him about this lineup of items? Like, what exactly are these?
Well, this one is a lantern of revealing. It has
Very nice.
many uses. Invisible creatures and objects are visible when you shine the light on it, which is quite useful if you're afraid of invisible creatures coming after you. Of course, the winged boots are what they say on the tin. They are boots with wings that allow you to fly for a brief period of time. The goggles that you see here, they are goggles of night. While you have them, you can see better while in the dark. And this helmet is a helm of comprehending languages. You can, as long as you wear it, you can cast the spell Comprehend Languages at will, requiring no spell slots.
Wonderful. How much are the shoes?
I believe they were 250 gold.
And also what was one after the shoes?
The helm. Was it the helm or the goggles?
Goggles. How much are the goggles?
They are about 100 gold.
I'll take both.
Wonderful. And he gives
stupid.
you the nice pair of boots with wings on it, and he gives you the goggles, and he takes your payment.
Percy, I could do
350, you
everything
said?
those things
I
can.
believe so, yes.
Well, I can't. So
Oh, I can touch you and then you'll be able to do it.
Saves a spell
Okay.
slot.
Whatever.
So let me real quick look up what specifically they do, because I feel like there's some odd limitations on the
some
boots that you would
nuances there,
need
probably.
to know. There's some nuances with the boots that you would probably need to know, and I might as well look up the goggles just in case. So while I'm doing that, does anybody else have any?
Yes.
Did I ever use that one potion? I did, right? That one time.
You used a healing potion.
Yeah, okay.
I know. Yeah, I know. I have two potions of healing and one greater healing left because I used one on Percy.
I used the greater healing, but I think I bought 5 total healing potions, but I wasn't sure which one of how many of those were greater healing potions. I know I used
think-
one.
I'm pretty sure we only each bought one greater healing because he didn't have many.
Okay, and then
I
so
know you
there-
and Lark both bought a bunch of them of the regular healing
Yeah,
potions.
I was gonna say I don't have any greater healing potions, but I still have 6 normal healing potions.
Yeah, I remember you guys buying like the rest of those, like
Yeah,
a lot.
Julio.
because I was on a lot of
So-
shopping trips where there wasn't anything else that interested me, so I just stocked up on potions.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the winged boots require attunement. They give you a flying speed equal to your walking speed, and the boots can fly for 4 hours altogether, or for a minimum of 1 minute intervals. So you don't have to spend all 4 hours all at once. And if you run out of time, you descend at a rate of 30 feet per round until you land. So if you fly for all 4 hours and then you just drop, and it regains 2 hours of flying capability for every 12 hours that they are not in use.
Gotcha. And it's just like a command word to activate.
I would say yes.
So is it an action or bonus action or
I think you can just do it.
like
frankly.
a free action? Cool.
Yeah. And let me look at the goggles to see how far they let you see.
Percy is tired of being the only one in the party who can't see in the dark.
Yeah. And good thing for you, because I know you're attuned to several magical items. I don't think the goggles of night vision require.
I think I
attunement.
have the brooch and I have what's my second thing? Is it
Oh, it's your medallion that allows you to it adds a +1 to your
I have that. Is
attack
that-
roll and
do I have
saving
anything
throw.
else?
No, I don't think so.
Cool. So yeah.
Not that I can
And I get
remember.
3 attunement slots, right?
Yes.
Cool. So I have
Yes, you do.
2 attunement slots to use now.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, yeah, you would have all 3 used.
Oh, what's
Because
the third
the
one?
pendant that gives you your extra use of channel divinity,
Oh, I forgot
that
about
requires attunement. So the goggles allow you to see 60 feet. You get 60 feet of dark vision. Of course, if you had dark vision, your dark vision would increase by 60 feet, but you don't have dark vision, so you just get 60-foot dark vision as long as you're wearing the goggles.
Cool.
And that
Is
does not
that
require
amulet
attunement.
that was Shimmer's scarab amulet, right?
No, it was not.
No.
It was. Got to pull out Tasha's.
Oh,
It was from
+1 amulet
Tasha's.
of the devout. That's what it was.
Yes.
Okay, I had it in the different section on my sheet.
Right. Yeah. Shimmer's amulet is non-magical.
Yeah.
It's just a golden scarab amulet.
I think at this point, Percy just sort of put that in his room.
Mm. Yeah. So what did Arthur want to buy? Or look for?
Some form of enchanted light armor, potentially.
Enchanted light armor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can certainly make a light armor with some magical enchantment. We don't have one readily available. The enchantment would probably be around 200 gold. We can lower the price if you provide a piece of leather armor, or I believe a chain shirt would work as well. But unless you have those, it would be 200 gold for the enchantment and the armor itself.
Okay, well, I haven't got any spare armor on me, but I do have an above game, just to make sure I actually still have this in my inventory. I just scrolled past that emerald skull that we got from...
Yeah, you haven't gotten rid of that.
Yeah, so can I just kind of like kaplunk?
What is this?
It's exactly what it looks like so far as I can tell. It's a skull made of emerald.
I totally forgot about that.
And you're sure it's not? And he just touches it and his eyes shimmer for a moment and he goes, are you sure you want to get rid of this?
Is there a reason I wouldn't?
Apparently, I don't know if you've already identified it, but it seems it's gained some magical power or has some magical power. It can transform into a flame skull for 1 minute.
Sounds kind of badass, pardon my French. Or Caliburnian, I suppose. But I don't see how that would be of entirely too much use to me unless anybody else in the party has anything to say about it.
Would it be a nice flame skull? Or would it just be a thing I have to kill?
It's a wondrous figurine. It follows your commands with some exceptions. With very few exceptions that I'm aware of. Generally, figurines of wondrous power follow your commands once they become what they need to. So I would assume it would follow your commands, but...
Oh, that's just like that two-headed shark figurine we found.
Is it a one-time use item?
No, it after you use it, it remains dormant for 7 days. You can't use it again.
That seems like super useful, guys. I give him like 3 gold just for the identify, and I'm like, thank you for telling us. I think we should hold on to it, guys.
Okay, listen. Daddy needs a new set of titty covers, okay?
Yeah, this summons a magic skull that does whatever we tell it to. Like this.
Oh yeah, like
I can literally burn everything.
Well, don't you think that'd be helpful the next time we get ambushed by someone that Lark has turned into an evil fairy?
I'll burn him.
Now, I do not.
You really need to let go of that, Percy.
I won't be letting go of that. And we could always use more allies in a fight. Why am I the only one who thinks this thing was useful?
Oh no, I completely advocate for keeping it now. Arthur, he's going to be making some sort of armor out of the hide anyway. And who knows what we can find when we get to the other side as it is.
The best the best use I can see.
Okay, nobody wanted this skull when it dropped on the ground.
Well, we didn't know it was magic then.
The best use I can see for this skull is shoving a rod onto it and use it as a torch.
Or, to summon a giant flaming skull to fight with us. That's also pretty useful.
I mean, it did nearly kill us the last time it was a flaming skull. And now we can make it ours.
Okay. Before I say yes or no, because again, finders keepers. What might you be willing to offer for the flaming skull? Emerald skull.
For that, a good 700 gold.
Okay, I'm sorry, boys, but 700 gold is worth a lot more to me than a flaming skull that flies around.
Yeah, me too.
I'll give you all 100 gold a pop.
Sure.
All right.
Why don't you trade that shark thing in instead? That's far more.
No.
We can only use that one in water. How often are we going to be fighting in water?
We're keeping sharks.
Don't say that kind of stuff out loud, Percy. That's bad form. Okay, yeah, sell the skull.
Wonderful. And he takes the skull and he gives you 700 gold. It takes a bit for him to count it all out, but he gets you 700 gold.
Yay.
And y'all may add 100 gold to your inventory each. Oh shit, I did that on the wrong character sheet because now I have 4. Okay, so you know what? I'll just I'm gonna pass him back a little 200 gold there for the enchanted leather armor. Now, just to be clear, we're just talking about some +1 leather armor.
Yes, +1 leather armor or +1 chain shirt or whatever kind of light armor you would like. But yeah.
Can we do studded leather?
Yeah, that is light, I believe. So yeah. All right.
That sounds good to me.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to tell you. I was gonna just throw that on top. Your amulet for Jasmine to make her claws magical. We're just going to say that Dove, as she took you to see the Yeti, as she revealed that to you while she took you away from the group, she would have had you swing by and pick it up on the way there. So you have it.
Good. That works for me. All right. Well, now I have a few empty inventory slots, and above game, the purchase that I would like to make at some point is, and I'm not even joking, a war horse. I want to find a horse.
I think Arthur has sparked this desire in Percy now, who's also just wearing light armor. I think Percy would be like, could you make it a suit of enchanted medium armor? Oh wait, no,
Yes.
It is above game. Doesn't medium armor have reductions for things like magic or something, or they're just heavy armor?
Not
you have to be
magic.
proficient. Well, no,
clerics
it
are
only
proficient
gives
in
you,
medium.
Yes, clerics are proficient in light and medium armor.
Yeah.
Some of them are proficient in heavy armor. You have to be proficient in order to cast spells in that armor.
Okay, so it wouldn't hurt me to wear medium armor.
Not necessarily. I think there's some medium armor that gives you disadvantage on stealth, depending on what it is.
Okay.
But that's about how much it'll affect you. I can check real quick.
I'm already not very stealthy.
It is scale mail and half plate. But
Yeah.
chain shirts, hide, all fine. Oh, I should have gone with a chain shirt.
So if I do a chain shirt, there's no stealth reduction?
No, I don't believe so.
Then Percy might ask, could you make a chain enchanted armor?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I am proficient with medium armor. Why did I? Fuck it. I already said studded leather. Let's go with it.
Yes, we most certainly can. It will be more expensive to deal with, but
About how much?
around 400 gold.
I'll do that too.
Wonderful.
Jeez, where did you get all of this?
I haven't spent any
Percy?
money the entire campaign. So an enchanted medium armor gives you a +2, right? And then
It can give you +1, it can give you +2, and I think +3 has to be heavy, I think.
but then enchanted. So can
that
we just
is
run
the
the numbers here
enchantment.
for me? Oh, so the enchantment gives it the +2.
Oh, okay. So here's the thing. So this is why I didn't want to take the chain shirt. I remember why. Chain shirt is 13 plus dex modifier up to a maximum of 2.
Right.
So like my dex
there's a
modifier is
maximum
5,
of
so that
dex.
wouldn't.
Yeah, some of them have like a maximum of how much dex they'll allow you to use
Okay.
to add to your AC.
Then does light armor still let you get up to +2 if it's enchanted?
Um.
I'm looking for a +2 essentially right now.
Okay. I think the armor can be. It looks like I'm reading here. I mean, technically, I could homebrew it as anything, but it looks like any armor can be +1, +2, or +3. It would just be more expensive for you to do it. So you could do light armor and then get +2. It would still be the same price.
Okay, I would like that then. So could we do a light armor with enchantment on it, please?
Yes, I most certainly can. So you pay him 400 gold, and he at this point has his book out and he's scribbling down projects that you all are getting for him.
I love this shop.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you're interested in ordering, custom, or selling?
I think I'm good.
I'm set.
Do you have a ring of mind shielding?
Regrettably, no, not at the moment. We might be able to find a seller of one.
Okay. Like so groggy. I don't know what I'm proficient on. Maybe a chain shirt.
Wizards don't get proficiencies with armor at all.
Not at all.
Why?
Because you're a wizard.
Yeah, that's essentially why. You are a wizard. You have your robes. So wearing light armor would literally make it impossible for you to cast spells because you're used to casting in no armor. So yeah, you could theoretically take the lightly armored feat at level 8, and then you could wear armor and not. But then you could only wear light armor.
Can I just get a ring of protection if you have that?
We might actually have a ring of protection. Let me check real quick. And he runs to the back, and I'm going to roll a percentile dice. He comes back with a box, and he opens it up, and there is a single ring inside. It's very plain. It's not anything special. And he goes, this is our last ring of protection. Let me quickly look at it so that I can properly price it. Ring of protection. I'm in robes, ring of protection.
Excuse me.
That will be around 400 gold.
Yes, I can afford it.
All right. He takes your
one.
400 gold and gives you a ring of protection, which gives you a +1 to your AC.
Yay.
And it requires attunement.
Okay. And then, what the fuck? Okay, what does it mean? What do I do for the attunement part?
You just have to keep track. You can only attune to 3 items, and I believe you're attuned to the spell book that bumps up your so you have 2 more slots left. I don't think you're attuned to anything else.
No.
So yeah, now you have 2 of them filled up, one of which is the spell book and the other is the ring of protection.
Achoo. Sorry, I got it. That's it. I don't want nothing else.
Well, if you want anything else.
Wait, did you say 400 gold?
Yes, 400 gold.
Okay.
Unless anybody wants anything else.
I'm set.
All right. Wonderful. This has been quite a profitable day. Well, you're always welcome to stop by. And feel free to window browse if you'd like. Otherwise, I will see you when you pick up these orders. Hopefully, I will be seeing you soon. But other than that, have a very lovely day.
And you as well.
And he nods and he kind of gets back to work as he kind of goes through and begins reviewing in his book the projects and things of that nature. So the rest of the day at the moment is yours as you walk back out of the shop into the sunlight with your newly acquired various items. So what would you like to do?
Does anybody feel like...
I was gonna ask, the goggles are just like, I put them on and I have dark vision, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm totally feeling the goggles with this like Plague Doctor vibe you've got going on.
Right? Like kind of matches the mask and everything.
Pretty good.
And I'm sure you could even like pop the lenses out of your mask so that the goggles can just like slot right in.
Perfect.
Excellent idea. Does anybody feel like they need a potion restock?
No.
I'm still good.
No.
I will make a quick trip to the hospital to just restock my medicine kit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Smart.
There has been a tremendous cleanup effort that has gone on since you've been at the hospital. Yeah. The last time you were there, it was covered in ash and scratch marks and flipped over and broken
I'll take
furniture.
a look around, and I also want to see if like, I can also ask my mom, but like, can I just see if like, has there been any headway on like replacing Dr. Argenta?
You kind of ask around for a little bit, and it seems that there has not been much headway. There's been more focus on the just rebuilding the hospital and repair. But people are kind of, in a way, looking to your mother and expecting her to step up into that position. Just because of how much she's been doing in Dr. Argenta's absence, since it was revealed what he's been doing. She is kind of at the moment filling that position unofficially, while the hospital is in mid-repair.
Cool.
But the floors have been swept. There's no more ashes. While the walls haven't been painted, there have certainly been quite a few of the scratch marks and holes in the plaster and things like that have been covered with a new fresh coat of white plaster, but the walls have not been painted yet. A lot of the furniture that was destroyed has been moved out of the way and gotten rid of. So there has been quite a bit of headway in repairing the building. but it is still very much in the repair phase.
Cool.
And
Any-
yeah, you do restock your bandages and poultices and herbs and various little emergency tinctures and things like that for your medicine kit.
Can I like see if what is Percy's ex's name? Edwin or Edward?
Edmund,
Edmund.
yeah.
Edmund. Can I just like casually be like, has anyone seen that Edmund guy around?
Oh, yes, we did. One of the head nurse was warned via a sending spell by Miss Kritzwald that he would be coming, and there's a possibility that he is under some kind of magical influence, and we should keep him away from the bedpans and chamber pots. When he arrived, we were concerned, so we stopped him and eventually held him down until he calmed down. After which he unleashed a virulent string of swears and marched out of the building. But other than that, no, he hasn't been around lately.
Not even one decent lick.
No.
Percy, your mother's such a killjoy.
I don't know. I think that went as well as it could have.
I have to say, I am disappointed.
All right. If we're just gonna spend the day here, and maybe are we planning on heading out to the Meanlock Warren tomorrow?
All right. I mean, sooner is better than later for me.
Okay.
But I mean, above game, we can't really have been out for more than what, an hour and a half now at this point.
Yeah.
Around that, probably, yeah.
Okay. Well, we could go.
I mean, we're going to have to get it done sooner or later. We just have to be on our guard. The Meanlocks are not affiliated with any court as far as I know, so. they're
And
probably
also apparently pretty nasty.
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna stop by my house real quick. I mean, actually, if it's the daytime, my mom's probably at the hospital. I can
Yeah,
probably just like
probably.
knock on her office door and be like, "Hey, I'm not gonna hold you up for super long. I know we just got back, but we're gonna hop onto a different plane of existence again today.
Oh.
Just Arthur has gotten kind of wrapped up in like a hag deal, and we're gonna go work that out in the fairy realm.
Oh.
Yeah. Fun stuff.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Hopefully this isn't
So,
going to be...
once again, could be back later tonight, maybe a year, I don't know. So
Well, hopefully it isn't a year.
I think that we'd probably miss a lot of really important stuff going on with the house if it was a year. So hopefully not a year.
Yeah.
I'm kind of processing this through humor. So
It's not working.
I never said I was funny. Okay, but just want to not just disappear on you for forever. So that's what we're gonna be up to.
If I'm
Hopefully
in the room with his mom, Lark's just gonna be like, did you really have to warn them, dear?
Yes, I did. It's a health hazard. We are in a hospital.
It's only a health hazard to him. And I did it for your son, so.
Even so, it is a health hazard. We do not
I'm
need that
happy
in this
with
hospital.
how it went. The thought of him coming with the purpose is enough for me. But yeah, we'll be back. Hopefully soon. I mean, all we have to do is get a flower. So hopefully nothing too intense.
Oh, speaking of that, we should go get Rosie.
Oh,
We're
Rosie.
bringing them with us.
I mean, they'd probably be better off back home than they are on the material plane. No offense, darlings, but none
No,
of you
that's true.
Maybe we'll run into more talking plants.
precisely.
She can have friends.
Okay. I guess
Sorry,
we're
they
bringing
don't want to
Rosie.
assume Rosie's gender identity. Whatever.
Well, I hopefully the basket of food is still good.
It's only been a few hours, or like a day now for us, so it's still good. But yeah, I'll be back, and I kind of give her a quick hug. I'm like, I'll let you like get back to work.
Yeah, the awkward of like she wants to, she realizes she's on the clock, but also she, is trying to be a mom, and it kind of awkward. And yeah, finally you do let her go back to work, and you leave the hospital, presumably.
Yeah, we walk back to my house, grab Rosie, we be like, "Hey, Dad, we're going to the fair. Bye, Dad."
Hey, bye.
Wait, what? As the
This
door
dad has been
slams
so
shut.
disrespected throughout this whole thing.
Yeah, I feel like Lark's gonna be like, now, Rosie, darling, would you like to come with us?
Adventure?
A perfect adventure, dear.
Yay!
He is
And
so cute.
if you're particularly lucky, you're going to get to meet my grandther.
Oh, I can't.
I'm sorry,
wait.
you're what?
My grandther.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
You don't have them over here?
No, we don't think we do.
No. Uh-uh.
Oh.
Is that like a
like a
like a
grandparent?
servant
grandfather or
Yes, it's like a grandparent, I suppose. The person who takes care of your parents.
Oh.
Granther tends
Okay,
the Garden of Regrets. I don't know anyone who's better with magical plants than Granther.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
that makes
new.
a lot of sense.
That's fun. Right. Okay.
Well, let's go talk to your grandther then.
Yay.
I mean, assuming we run in. I don't know where in the Feywild we're going to pop out if we go through that portal.
Okay.
Hopefully it's not in the middle of a Sealy Court party, or else I might want
God.
to.
Why did you have to say those words?
Though, if it's a mirror, I suppose a place like Gothia's probably not exactly sitting smack dead in the center of Sealy lands. What with, all of the death that clings about here in the dreariness. Might be Hagrid.
Right. Well, what, like a day's trip from here? Should get going.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess it is. No, a day's trip would be Gallows, the town.
Okay.
It's probably about a 6-hour journey.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we totally
foot,
opened up a portal
correct.
to the Feywild right outside of the city, practically.
Yeah. Because I don't know that if I need to reiterate or not, but Jasmine doesn't do vehicles.
Right.
Well, you guys have walked before.
Yeah, that would
We
probably
definitely
be best.
have.
Oh
Okay.
shit! Now I'm the only one who can't fly.
I can technically
Percy is
make
definitely
you
testing
fly.
out his new boots on the way there.
I can technically
Yeah.
make you fly, so if you want to fly, just
I mean, yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, so you managed
We can
to
walk it.
walk along the road. You pass the entrance to the titular dark house, as it is not, it's beyond that. And you manage to make it to a recognizable place. It's definitely later in the afternoon, maybe closer to 5. It's been a bit of a walk to get there. But you come to a recognizable place where off in the distance you can somewhat see a strange shadow that doesn't quite work with the rest of reality. And that is presumably where the Meanlock nest is.
Now, I think our best bet is, I don't think we've the time or numbers to fight all the way through them. They'll probably overwhelm us if we try. I'd recommend just looking for the portal and going through, because they are not apt to follow us if they've settled in quite nicely on this side.
So
Okay.
detect magic or
That might be our best bet. Unless you feel like fighting off a whole system of them, but
I mean, much
I'm
as I'd like to
casting
say I have the energy for
protection
that,
from
but
evil and good on myself.
wow. Okay, I see how it is. Okay.
So as you approach, you once again see the trees have twisted, the undergrowth have grown into these huge mounds of thorny vines that twist in and out of themselves. Light doesn't seem to quite reach inside of it, quite the same as it does the outside. However, at the center of this massive warren, a pathway goes straight to a circle of mushrooms that you remember having used to contact the Queen of Air and Darkness.
and nothing's harassed us yet.
Nothing has harassed you yet, but you haven't quite entered. You've entered the territory, but not the warren itself.
Okay. Well, it's my it's my show, so I guess I'll boop, boop, boop.
If everyone would like to make me stealth checks,
Oh boy.
Oh, I would love to make you a stealth
as you
check.
presumably begin to creep towards the mushroom circle.
Why are we
I
creeping
did
to it
not
again?
do good.
Yeah. Okay, so wait, where's Jazz? Does Jazz?
Oh shit, hold on, my importance.
Yeah, go ahead and roll those real quick.
She
Yeah.
says 7.
Lark
Oh.
got a 15.
Plus 8. 19 and 18 for myself and Jasmine, respectively.
So my original throw was 15 and have a +2 for stealth. And then my 2 portents are both 20.
Damn.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
save them shits. Like,
Yeah.
bruh.
Although
I'm
regrettably, I
stealthy
don't
as
think
fuck,
they can be
dude.
criticals, sadly. I think it is just
I
regular
don't think so,
20.
because it wouldn't be a
Mhm.
natural.
Yeah.
Yeah, since you have
Yeah.
to give it. Yeah, it wouldn't. Yeah.
Depending on how bad Percy's roll is, you could give Percy one of those.
Did he say?
I got a total of 7.
He cast protection from evil and good. Let him sweat.
I haven't casted
Yeah.
mine yet. So
You all creep towards the warren and into it. And as you get closer and closer, Percy, you just try and continue being sneaky, and your foot catches a rock and you right into the thorns. They don't poke you, but there's definitely a shh as the whole bush shimmies a bit.
Amateurs.
And you begin to feel gazes come in your general direction as you all move and move and move until you finally get into the center of the mushroom circle and nothing happens.
the gazes were actually just the 3 of us judging him.
And then the mean locks begin to appear. There are various holes and openings in this section of the warren where the vines twist into almost perfectly circular openings as these things begin to creep out. Their mandibles,
What the fuck is that?
their claws clicking and clacking. A high-pitched vibration begins to thrum in your brains. Your vision begins to fade around the outside as they all are surrounding you. There's about possibly 24 of these things all staring at you and all slowly beginning to approach, clacking their claws.
Yep.
Everyone, like, how did I contact her last? Run in counterclockwise circles, and I'm going to start begging for help.
Oh, okay.
They begin to
Um,
get closer and closer. They begin to get more bold as they begin climbing out and coming towards you, walking
God, those things
across
are
the
gross.
ground. One of them leaps for you, and at that moment, everything just vanishes. You feel as though you are falling and racing and almost like you're on a roller coaster until finally you all land fairly roughly on the ground. Standing up, the sky is a beautiful crystal blue. Beautiful white cottony clouds float along the horizon, and you're in the middle of a beautiful verdant green meadow. Off to your right, off to your left are beautiful verdant green trees, but they cast a very deep shadow underneath of them. And that forest seems to stretch on for quite some time. In front of you, there is the vast meadow. You can see trees very far in the distance, along with a very interesting looking singular mountain poking up. And off to your right, you see a almost vernal forest, trees with orange and red and yellow leaves gently falling continuously like snow. The flowers are particularly large and colorful and beautiful, and buzzing through the air are what you think are abnormally large butterflies, but as you look at them, they're actually tiny ponies with butterfly wings flying through the air. And the air smells wonderful of all kinds of beautiful floral scents. The colors are brighter than they are on the material plane, and it seems you are in the Feywild.
Okay.
Wow.
Not you doing okay over there, Lark?
I'm just breathing it in, darling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not exactly what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, but yeah, this is interesting. So, do you have any idea where we are?
Do I know where we are, Spencer?
Make me a nature check.
Okay. With my 0 intelligence modifier, that's a 19.
Right.
Plus nothing.
19.
Plus 19.
19 plus nothing.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was asking. It seems the dualistic nature of this place, having a beautiful verdant green, almost summertime or springtime forest on one side and a autumnal forest on the other side, there is no other realm aside from the realm that is jointly shared between the May Queen and the Harvest Maiden, who are both very much on the Sealy court.
So I think we're in Sealy Land.
Is that good or bad?
What's Sealy? From where I grew up, that's chili. That's like pepper.
Are you asking like above game or in character?
Yes.
Above game, Sealy and unsealy just defines kind of, it's kind of just the black and white, like good versus bad kind of thing. Except it's more complicated than that, of course, but that's kind of how mortals would perceive it. Those that are on the unsealy court are bad. Those that are on the Sealy court are good.
But we're looking for a Sealy flower in the Sealy Palace, right? So that's good that we're here.
Yes, but I was counting on getting some answers and some help from people, but I don't know if they'll be in Sealy Lands.
Wow. So then what do we do?
So we're kind of in between the spring and fall domains, and there's a mountain in the distance.
Yes, very far in the distance. And you would know geography in the Feywild, just because you see it doesn't necessarily mean that it's technically there. Geography has a bad habit of turning you around, jumping you from place to place. It just has to do with where domains end, how allegiances between certain Fey change. Just because you can see it doesn't mean you can get to it, and doesn't mean you can get to it just by walking towards it.
Well,
Awesome.
yeah, so I'll explain that in character and just be like, so it looks like our best bets are to go into one or the other.
I can't imagine that and we probably shouldn't say anything about me. I don't imagine you'll be entirely well received.
Depends on how much they can suss out on, well, which side I'm on, and assuming we don't run into any. Some people just think it's a friendly rivalry, but others may try to kill me on sight. It's fine.
Okay. So what you're saying is we have no real great course of action.
Rock in a hard place, sound familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
then are we choosing the rock or the hard place? You're the one that's from here.
Would I know, like, which side I might squeak by a little bit easier in, or is it just up in the air?
It's just up in the air.
Would you guys rather see... sorry?
You would be able to assume that the May Queen and the Harvest Maiden are kind of very much all about generosity. So you get the sense that you might not be killed on sight here, but there definitely might be some raised eyebrows and some rumors that might go around, which may make it harder to navigate through other realms that might border it in various ways.
This seems like it's going to be harder than riding a boat to a city.
Oh, of course, darling. Space around here likes to change as quickly as time sometimes. It makes it fun, though.
Yeah. Fun. That's the word I
to
use.
Understand why Samantha was here for 40 years.
Oh, she might be here now that I think about it.
Great.
Which season is the Bear King or the Bear Lord more likely to be tied to?
More likely to be tied to summer. That's when bees are most active, and he's very much buddy with the bee queen.
Okay. Well, at least we don't have.
Cute.
At least we're not dealing with summer. Though if summer were here, so it would hopefully be a pathway to winter, which would be the safest. I'm gonna. I don't know. Lark's just kind of like, he's excited to be back home. He's probably been like vaguely around some of the different courts before he like officially signed up back during his crazy 20s, however many hundreds of years ago that was. So he's just gonna be like, well, I personally have always been a fan of fall.
You want to be in winter, and isn't fall the closest thing?
Fall is closer to winter, and if we go through the fall court, we might be able to get there, or at least find someone who can point us or help us navigate a little bit better.
All right. So Harvest Maiden it is then.
So you all make your way into the vernal forest. And yeah, as you enter, it's almost a slight drop in temperature. It's still warm enough that you don't necessarily need a jacket, but if it were morning, you probably would. The sunlight comes through the trees, and the red and yellow and orange leaves float down gently. As you're walking along, you begin to see strange little people walking around. They're about the size of gnomes, but it seems that they have apples for heads.
Oh.
And a few of them are sawing off branches of a tree. Some of them are using taps, almost like maple syrup taps. And they seem to be singing what you could only suss out as lumberjack songs in Sylvan, of course. And just walking around having a jovial time. You start to notice little buildings here and there. They have very alpine sort of architecture. And they're not very big. Lark might be able to fit into one, but they're definitely made for these strange little apple people. And soon you get to a huge village. To them, it might be a city. To you, it's definitely like one of those Christmas train dioramas. There are these weird apple people everywhere, walking around just doing their thing, and they don't seem to really care about you all being there. They wave and say things in Sylvan, which Lark, of course, would understand as just being greetings. They're just saying, hello there, and walking along. They
Just like,
definitely
oh my
have
goodness,
a
they
kind
are
of...
so cute.
Some of them are wearing like flannel shirts with lumberjack pants and lumberjack boots. Some of them are wearing lederhosen. Some of them are wearing dirndls with little headscarves on. You also notice that there are some of them who have caramel dripping down their heads, but not all of them. And they all just seem to march along and do their own little thing as you're standing in the middle of this diorama.
Do I know what these are?
I would say probably at this point, yeah, they're applings.
Okay.
I love them. This is just delightful.
We seem to have
Who's
come
that
across
Pokemon?
a settlement of applings. Can I roll to see what I know about them?
Yes, you may. You can do nature and history at this point. I feel like history would also be okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not skilled in either, and I have 0 intelligence for my modifier.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because fun fact, when you play a flying race, for some reason, they cut down on the starting skills you get.
That's weird.
Yeah, I only have 4 skills. It sucks. That's a 15, though.
Ooh. A lot of some of the Feywild tends to have sentient plants and sentient fruits, like the applings, who are actual people. Applings are they live a very sort of rustic lifestyle. They're generally peaceful, and they are closely related to other sort of living things. The ones that you kind of remember in a way while trying to think about applings. There are in what would be the May Queen, are onionoids, which are the same thing but onions.
Okay.
But you are in appling territory, and of course sometimes applings come out covered in caramel. It's believed that those that are covered in caramel are better at magic, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they are magic themselves. They don't have any innate spells that they can cast. They're just people with apple heads.
Okay. Literally 10 minutes in Fairy, and I just have no idea what to do with myself.
How do you not love them? They're adorable.
It's just a little settlement of applings, dear. Don't worry. Can I ask the nearest one in Sylvan? Hello, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful.
Lark's just gonna look towards Rerek. If he says if I eat one, he's just gonna be like, don't.
If I eat one, will I still be vegetarian?
Back to Sylvan.
Yes.
Do you have perhaps a village, an elder, or a chief? Someone in
Ooh.
charge?
Yes, that would be Master Wizard Caramel.
Oh, and do we need to set an appointment to have a quick talk with Master Wizard Caramel, or could you just point us in that direction, dear?
I don't know. Sometimes he's busy, sometimes he's not. I don't know.
Where is he, darling?
He would be at the town hall over there. And she points, and at the other end of the clearing is a building with a clock tower.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Of course. And let's just say that she's an appling wearing a dirndl and she's hanging laundry beside her house. And she just continues doing her chores as if you're not there.
Mhm.
Oh, Arthur, calm down. There's bound to be some whimsical things in the Feywild.
I wasn't expecting to run into a village made of sprinkles. Okay, so weird things happen. I'll get over it.
So now what?
None of you speak Sylvan, do you?
Mm-mm.
No.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
The appling over there told me that the person in charge of this settlement is Master Wizard Caramel, who lives in that cute little clock tower.
Master Wizard Caramel.
Master Wizard Caramel.
You
They're
are
not
enjoying this way too much,
babies.
Percy.
God.
This is just so cute. What? So why are we gonna go talk with Master Wizard Caramel?
Are you gonna keep talking like that? God damn.
I hate you. I hate you so much.
You should.
No, this is in character, by the way. I'm totally asking, are you gonna keep talking like that?
No, Percy, this is for your own good. Despite how adorable that they may appear to you, you should not infantilize the citizens of the Feywild in your mind. One of the fastest ways that we can get to trick people is by making them think less of us than we are, even as adorable as applings can be.
Hey, are we leaving? Are we?
Well, we're going to go ask this Master Wizard Caramel if he could give us a point in a direction or help us out a little.
All right. Go do that.
Yes. So you fly over to the other side of the clearing. And indeed, as you make it over there, the doors to this place, to this town hall, open. And out comes a very fine looking appling with caramel all over his head. He even has a monocle and a mustache and a staff with an apple on the end.
Look at his little mustache.
Percy,
As he
stop.
strides out, and he kind of looks up and he goes,
Eli
"Oh."
brought me an apple.
I'm in physical pain right now.
I love it. Okay.
No.
And he just kind of looks up and goes, "Oh, visitors, welcome. Welcome to Appleville."
Is he
How
speaking
can I
in
help
common or
you?
Sylvan?
He's speaking in
Sorry, shut
Sylvan,
up.
kind of noticing you. Yes, how can I help you today?
I'll translate for the rest of the party that he's greeting us. And Lark's just going to be like, hello, Grand Wizard Caramel, correct?
Yes.
I'm Lark. Well, for lack of a better term, going into my full name would be a bit problematic, I suppose. I don't suppose you could, if you're the one in charge here, you could help point us in the direction of other people like me?
Yes. There are various ways to get there. There is the floating palace of Gloriana, which should be passing over very soon.
Splendid. I'll mention that to everybody. Like, apparently, Gloriana's palace is going to be passing over soon.
Isn't that where we're supposed to be going?
That's good. That's good, right?
That's where we're supposed to be going, but it's probably layered enough magic that. Now, can I call you Caramel, darling, or Wizard Caramel, or Master Caramel? What would you prefer?
How about let's stick with Master Caramel?
Master Caramel, as you can. I don't fly for summer very often, if that makes sense to you.
Oh.
Yes. You wouldn't have happened to see any of the Lord Hersam's folk about. They travel about all over the place.
They do. We haven't seen them recently. They don't like to come by here because they, some of them can't resist themselves and maybe have a snack or two that they shouldn't. So they tend not to come through here very often.
Apologies, I didn't know. I've actually never visited Appleville in all my time here.
Yes, we are kind of a hidden jewel of the Feywild, so to speak.
You must adore how many hidden jewels it has.
Well, if you need to get up there, there are various ways, of course. I'm not privy to all of them, seeing as how I don't go up very often, unless it is the top of a tree. But perhaps the May Queen could lend her chariot to get up there. That is an option. There is also a possibility that the Gnome King is going to be landing in the meadow just over yonder for repairs of his various ornithopters before he makes a visit. I heard he's delivering wish stones to Queen Gloriana. As of recently, of course, I don't know if the deal has fallen through or anything, but that seems to be what is going on.
Translate. Well, thank you for your help, Master Caramel.
Happy to provide.
Between the two of them, like Gnome King. Well, what's the Gnome King's sitch?
The Gnome King is one of the realms that exist below the surface.
Okay.
It is mostly a mine. You would know that wish stones are something that every time a person makes a wish for good or for bad, in various ways, such as tossing a penny down a well or blowing out a birthday candle or wishing on a shooting star or other things like that, those wishes become something that travels to the Feywild and sticks deep inside the earth, and it can be mined out. A lot of Fey use them for power sources, for various magical spells to keep them going. Without having to dump spell slots into them or having to sacrifice people. And of course, if they are ill-intentioned, they turn out to be a very dark kind of color. But if they are good-intentioned, they are bright and luminous and they glitter and glow. And it is presumably what keeps Gloriana's palace aloft. So she would periodically have to stock up on these wish stones and use them to keep her castle aloft, or else it would fall from the sky. And this is presumably her stocking up, using the Gnome King who's willing to mine out these wish stones and deliver them.
Oh, wonderful. So yeah, Lark's gonna, I guess he'll look towards the boys and just be like, so, well, according to Master Caramel, if we want to get up to the palace, our two best bets are Gnome King or trying to get a hold of the May Queen's chariot. Though, as I just wish I could get a little bit of aid from someone before we went there and get some advice, but if it's going to be passing over here soon, it might be a solid opportunity to get up there. I just don't know what's up there. I've never been there.
Well, naturally, but do you think it wise to pass up the opportunity in favor of seeking more advice? I mean, who even knows if we'll be able to locate the palace later?
That is a fair point.
I mean, I'm all for not going in unprepared, but it's right there.
And our only two options are the Gnome King's ornithopters or the May Queen's chariot.
True.
And neither of them like you.
Well, they don't know me personally.
Well,
But they are not unsealing. Yeah.
Is the Gnome King's like more sealy than unsealy then?
He does have a foot in both courts, but he is definitely far more sealy than unsealy.
But he has a foot in both courts.
He does have a foot in both courts. Well, it's more of a toe in one court, 1.5 feet in the other.
Yeah.
Versus the May Queen doesn't have any toes, right?
Right. She is entirely sealy.
She's toeless.
Entirely toeless.
Entirely toeless.
They're just a
Lark-
nub down there.
Lark's just gonna be like, well, I mean, the Gnome King will very, very rarely and sporadically give a particularly nasty wish stone to the dark side, so he's some dealings with them at least.
Sounds better than the May Queen then. Oh my God.
Though I suppose, well, right, the best currency I think we have on us right now are those feathers.
I don't know that I ever expected that I would hear myself delighting in the fact that we had found someone who was a slightly more evil option.
Yeah, the moral fiber of our lives has really gotten a bit darker than I ever thought it would.
Yeah.
We met each other hunting down people who were murdering other people. What moral fiber are we talking about?
They were
they were
bad
only
people.
murderers.
I think that you all just need to let go of these preconceived notions of good and evil while we're here.
I don't give a fuck.
The Unseelie aren't the only court that harvests humans, darling.
Well, yes, this is true. I know, but I'm allowed to struggle with it.
I'm still allowed to dislike the harvesting of humans in general.
The Seelie do it too.
Well, I mean, I have opinions about humans anyway, but that's besides the point.
I suppose I should rephrase that in terms of mortals. I mean, you saw in the Shadowfell how mutable you all are. It's good breeding stock. If we can get you to change.
Yeah, you're really doing wonders in convincing me that you aren't evil. So how do we find the Gnome King?
He'll be over.
Are we talking to him, or?
So is the Gnome King like technically Archfey?
Yes, but he is probably not going to be making the delivery, or at least not using an ornithopter.
Mm-hmm.
He probably has his own
retinue
or
doing it for him.
Something else. Yeah.
Well, it probably won't be him directly or the May Queen directly herself either. I just feel as though I'd probably have a hair better chance persuading someone in his employ than her employ.
Right.
Okay, then let's go see if we can find the Gnome King's landing party.
Persuade away.
Yeah, that's all you.
I
We
mean,
can't even talk to them, so.
Well,
I'm not even. Yeah.
I mean, the fact that none of you brushed up on your Sylvan is quite awkward, I suppose.
Let me just
Listen,
take a few classes.
your kind are not entirely too common where I come from, so I mean, can you blame me?
So I'm going to turn to Master Caramel, and I'm just going to be like, I don't have much that I could give for your help, and I don't suppose you would want to plant a seed of mischief here, would you?
My God.
No, he should know what these are. We're not in the material plane.
No, I know, and that's why I can't believe you're suggesting it.
It's good to offer a gift in terms of hospitality for the help.
We would prefer to keep our village very nice and peaceful with the minimal amount of mischief.
Yes. Well, I can give you thanks for your help at least. Thank you, Master Caramel.
And he kind of gives a little bow. Well, unless you have something else that you would like to speak with me about, I do have my adoring citizens to attend to.
I thank you for your help. And let's go to back into common. I suppose we should head to the clearing and see if we can flag down whoever's working for the Gnome King.
Yeah, as we walk over, Percy's like,
Yep.
I can't believe you tried to give one of your awful seeds to that sweet little man.
I mean, how did you didn't even understand the conversation. I just
You
motioned.
took a
with
seed out.
Percy, you have to offer things for help here. It's just common courtesy. Would you prefer if I had offered a year of your life?
Well, I'm not 100% of the rules of that, but you don't have the right to that. So.
Don't I, though?
No.
Didn't he save your life?
True, but I already saved his life in return at this point.
And I also just went to help you get your soul back from the Shadowfell.
Ooh, burn.
I don't know what this is, but I like it. Well, I like what's going on here.
We're arguing the semantics of who owes who at this point. Though by my ledger, I'm clear at this point. Because you were helping Arthur not get slaughtered by a coven of hags, and Arthur was helping me because it was in his best interests. And it all comes back to the fact that everything's actually in your best interest. Because if we don't sort this out, the material plane, oh yes, your sister calls out a giant, horrible aberration that devours it all. So we're all putting it all together.
Or we murder her, like either way.
No.
So the least I could offer him is a seed from back home, and he opted not to take it. Because it does invite a bit of mischief.
Okay, well, are there any gnomes around?
You walk out to the clearing and no, there are no gnomes. There is no castle in the sky. There's just the meadow. However, I would probably believe at this point, you do as you look across the clearing, you see something shiny. In fact, a row of some things that are shiny. Moving more parallel to where you're looking, out into the center of the field.
A row of shiny somethings.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to see at this distance.
Do you suppose that that's an ornithopter?
I don't know what that word is, so.
Oh, wait, do I know what an ornithopter is in character?
It is a mechanical device that has wings that flap like a bird. The Gnome King is very much into artifice as opposed to purely arcane magic. And so these things are enchanted. They can fly like birds and they're shaped like birds, but they're very clearly mechanical structures with rotating blades, and basically think a Da Vinci device with a little bit of magic sprinkled on top. It's very much that.
Does Lark know what they are so he can explain, like, oh, they're little magical bird creatures that the Gnome King likes to make?
If you would like, you can roll a history or nature check to see if you know it.
Okay, here we go. +0. 14 plus 0 is still a 14.
Yeah, you know enough. The gnomes here are the same size as gnomes on the material plane, so the ornithopters are actually quite big because they have to carry these gnomes. It's not like the applings, which are kind of more about your size, maybe about 2 feet tall. But it doesn't look like an ornithopter. It's just rows of something glittering in the grass that's moving. It's marching forward.
I mean, I don't know if this is gonna do anything, but keen smell, just for shits and gigs.
Sure.
Okay. I mean, not like Jasmine's ever been in the Feywild, but let's just go for it. Ugh, balls, even with advantage, that's a 15.
15?
Mm-hmm.
Smells like onions.
Oh, shit.
The onion people, I was like gonna say I wanted to see them.
Okay, so Jasmine smells onions coming, and I'm assuming from the general direction of like the thing we're looking at.
Yeah.
In the background, Rerek goes.
Lark's
Dragonborns even sweat? Like,
did I tell them about how the other side has like onion people instead of apple people, relatively?
You might have.
I mean, you kind of said translate is what.
Oh yeah. So Lark's
Very
just
true.
gonna be like, oh, sounds like, or what do we call them? Onionlings?
Onionoids.
Onionoids.
Okay.
Applings and onionoids.
Oh, a bunch of marching onionoids. That's a little suspicious.
Is this going to be like a little food war? Is that what's happening right now? Are they about to siege that adorable little apple village?
If they are, then here's what we do. Nothing. We do not interfere in their business.
But
yes,
they're completely unaware,
but that's not our problem. That's not why we're here.
Would it be
trouble that we would get in? Not worth it.
I mean, would it be common for fall and spring to get into skirmishes for any reason?
No, not that you're aware of.
So yeah, Lark's gonna be like, I don't think fall and spring have ever had a battle, let alone had a. Or no, he'll put it. Let me rephrase that. He'll put it. I don't think fall and spring have ever had a harsh disagreement, let alone had a battle between each other. But we might as well go ask what's going on.
You do notice at this point, one of these shiny things has started moving towards you, and as it gets closer, yes, it is an onionoid, but it is wearing armor. It is wearing a suit of armor with a sort of spring green, lime green, and white sort of livery all over it as it marches towards you. It even has a sprig of green coming out of the top that would be chives as this onion marches towards you. And surprisingly, in common, it raises a hand and calls out, "Hail there, I am Sir Garlack. It is lovely to meet you." And we're going to end we're going to end this episode here.
Upon meeting Sir Garlack, the Onionoid Knight.
Yes.
Okay.
So everyone can join us next week to see what kind of Feywild fuckery this group is going to get up to. And I will see you all very soon.